From the UBS Broadcast Center at Union University, this is Jackson 24/7.
Hello, I'm Haley Livers. It's Wednesday, January 11th. The week began in tragedy in Orlando, Florida, a city which dealt with the shooting deaths of 49 people last summer. Monday morning, an Orlando police officer and a motorcycle police deputy were killed in the line of duty. Tuesday night, Jackson came together in a show of support for our own men and women in blue and the community's first responders. With the story is Jackson 24/7 reporter Logan Whaley.
The community turned out to offer its support for hundreds of officers and first responders who are in harm's way every day. As is tradition, a combination of law enforcement personnel and first responders joined as one to represent solidarity.
It is certainly a noble calling to protect and to serve, and as someone who has worked in law enforcement for my entire professional career, I can assure you it means the world to know that there are still people standing beside you in support. It's no secret it's a tough time to be a law enforcement officer. Ours is a career under attack. The policies, practices, and split-second decisions are often second-guessed and unfairly criticized, and in some cases we're physically assaulted.
Officers were also represented by their K-9 units. One dog simulated a capture situation. Case Monday in Orlando, police and deputies are on the line every day to protect and to serve. Last night, the people of Jackson gave their collective vote of support and encouragement to the men and women in blue. Reporting for Jackson 24/7, I'm Logan Whaley.
The entire spectrum of police officers at risk came to light 2 years ago in Jackson. Police Sergeant Mike Thomas stopped to investigate one of the most dangerous calls for any officer, domestic violence. Sergeant Thomas himself became a victim of an ambush attack. Jackson 24/7 reporter Jasmine Friesen looks back on what happened that night and what Sergeant Thomas's advice is today to younger officers.
In February 2014, the world changed for Sergeant Mike Thomas. He was attacked from behind and beaten within an inch of his life.
It was a cold Sunday night in February. Sergeant Thomas stopped at Highland Express for a soft drink. He was called over by a woman who said she was being abused. While he was questioning the woman, a man ambushed him from behind. He was repeatedly kicked, his jaw was broken, and he required multiple surgeries to recover. He and his wife told their story on Jackson 24/7 3 months after the attack.
The upper jaw was, I didn't realize it could do that, had come loose, and that's what he wanted to stabilize. And the lower jaw was actually, there was no injury to it, so that's what he used to stabilize everything.
Police officers know they are at risk every day, especially during calls of domestic violence. Sergeant Thomas has a message to share with every police officer.
The lesson I want to take to especially the younger officers is always be aware of your surroundings. Make sure that you never get into a complacent frame of mind.
Sergeant Thomas says he has learned to value every day. That's the message he hopes is followed by his colleagues. Reporting for Jackson 24/7, I'm Jasmine Friesen.
Turning to education, the challenges of building repairs led to tensions at Monday night's school board meeting. The situation involving the Whitehall pre-K program carried over into a called meeting Tuesday. Jackson 24/7 reporter Terry Jelks has the details.
The perfect storm developed at Whitehall School. Hail damaged the roof, water flooded the floor, then came the snow, and then came the emotions that erupted Monday night.
It made me ashamed to be a citizen of Madison County at that point.
The emotion in Beth Parnell's voice was evident. A number of pre-K parents are frustrated that Whitehall School is in such condition that a hailstorm could leave it unusable. Even with insurance money, the repair to the building will be expensive. A move to Nova Elementary School for the pre-K program is delayed at least for a short term because of last weekend's weather issues.
The issue at Whitehall. Right. No one really considered the fact that we're going to have a hailstorm. We got to deal with that roof.
Ruffin denied accusations that her office is not using all of its resources to solve the problem. That did not stop board member Dave Brotcher from raising more questions.
In my opinion, we need to have the posture that says this is an emergency.
Dr. Ruffin says the administration is doing everything it can to deal with a difficult situation, but many parents want to know why Whitehall is in the kind of condition to cause this disruption. Reporting for Jackson 24/7, I'm Terry Jelks.
This is Steve Beverly. Monday night, Dr. Ruffin had an immediate answer for Dave Bratcher.
Our team has been aggressively addressing this, and there is a deep sense of urgency, Mr. Bratcher.
And in fact, the hazard testing report is back. The target date now to resume classes on the transfer from Whitehall to Nova is January 25th. Major repairs will be completed at Whitehall by summer. No asbestos was found in the Whitehall building, and no other major health hazards were discovered.
Now let's recap some headlines in both education and politics. First up, the new boss at UT Martin is hitting the ground running. He's going to visit all of the satellite campuses of the university. That includes one in the hub city. Keith Carver is the new chancellor in Martin. He's also going to tour the facilities at Parsons, Ripley, Selmer, and Somerville. His priority is to meet faculty and staff, and he's expected to have news conferences in each city. Carver is a former vice chancellor at UT Martin. For the last 6 years, he's been executive assistant to the UT president in Knoxville. He's scheduled to visit the Jackson facility on January 25th. In state politics, House Minority Leader Craig Fitzhugh says he's taking a serious look at running for governor next year. The Ripley Democrat says he'll wait until after the upcoming legislative session to decide whether to join the race. The timeline may be affected by others who jump into the race. Former Nashville Mayor Carl Dean has said he will decide whether to go for the Democratic nomination during the first quarter of the year. Fitzhugh has been in the House since 1995 and became Minority Leader 6 years ago. Republican Senator Mark Green is the first to officially take the step to enter the race. Green has named Bob Yates as his political treasurer. That step is required for candidates to begin raising or spending money for their campaigns. Green was re-elected for a second term in the Senate in November. He's been touring the state to gauge the interest of voters. Other Republicans considering jumping in are Congresswoman Diane Black, Economic Development Commissioner Randy Boyd, and Senate Majority Leader Mark Norris.
Cooler on Friday with more rain and a high only up to 54. Saturday and Sunday, a chance of rain continues with a high in the 60s. Monday, not a good forecast for the MLK Day Parade, with a 50% chance of rain and a high around 66. That's your Jackson 24/7 weather. I'm Thomas Gray. Stay dry and have a great evening.
I'm Haley Livers. Enjoy the rest of your day and night. And now we're done.